Okay, let's get the show on the road. Time to breathe in, relax, slow down, and use my teaching voice. Because, yeah. So let me go through showing you how to download the files that you will need to work in the book. Alrighty? And so with that, bear with me 1 second. I'm going to... So in the very beginning of your book, and I will give you the page. Okay. The very beginning of your book, actually, it's almost, for me, it's almost the very first page. It's the preface, all right? And the bottom, so it's Roman numerals II, or Roman numerals lowercase I2, okay? And so if you do that, you can see how to do it, but I'm going to take you through the steps because there's a couple of little tricks to make sure we do this right first time off. If I don't know everybody's skills, so if I tell you stuff you already know, if you look at the beginning of the book, you'll see the code that you need. Also, if you look inside of it, if you look inside Roman numerals 3264, and then you click on find, very important step, 3264, and find data. Okay. When you do that, then you're going to have a dialog box that pops up, and you are going to, if the choice is not already made for you, you're going to select Save File. All right? So you've got two options. You've got Open or Save File. You're going to select Save File, and then OK. Depending on your browser will be how you see the next steps. I've done the Save File. It doesn't take very long for it to download. So it's not too bad at all. So then I'm going to navigate. I'm going to start. Okay.
Oh my God, 92 files. It's scary.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm now sitting in Windows Explorer. Does anybody here know the Windows Explorer? You can find, if you look at the bottom of my screen where my taskbar is. And again, if you already know this, my apologies. And so you'll have the folder here, and that's called Windows Explorer. And because I spend a lot of time downloading stuff, there's a lot of files in there. And so you notice, just out of interest, oh, come on, Deborah, you could do this. You could do this. So you notice the format that I see my data in is View. And this is hopefully this is going to be useful information and details. The reason I like this, the View Details, it really organizes my file so I can look at a glance and see what I need to see. All right. So right now you can see we don't see anything. We don't see any files we need. So I'm going to click on Date Modified once. And again. So now, by clicking on the Date Modified again, the file that I've just downloaded is at the very top. It says today. Okay. You can even be more selective when you're searching for your files by doing this. So in this little counting type, you're supposed to know what you're doing. Here. If the little calendar is here, I can even select only those files I downloaded today. And so you could be more selective about what to do or where to go look. So these are only the files I've worked with today. And so what I'm going to do is right mouse click on 3264-1 student files. So right mouse click on 3264 student files. It's the yellow folder with a little zipper on it. Okay. And what you want to do is extract. It looks like you could immediately go into it, but not the case. Because it's compressed or a zipped file, we need to be able to extract or decompress all the files that are in the folder. So and the other things. Oopsie, good. Can everybody see my screen right now? And you see the zipper, and you see the blue with the white text. Do you see that?
Yes.
The reason I'm asking about that is because I just almost made a mistake. If you ever click on the files or folders, you always do it on the picture or the icon, because you see what happens when sometimes it says, it thinks you want to rename it. So that's why it does that, the white text on the blue. So it says, oh, you're in rename mode. So the secret to never doing this wrong is to right mouse click on the folder itself or the icon. So right mouse click here, extract all. Okay, so right mouse click on the folder and extract all. All right. Then I'm going to be given the option of selecting a location for this folder. You may put it anywhere you like, if you want to put it onto the USB or if you want to do it anywhere. I like to save everything to my desktop.
I have a question. This program is working with iOS, or should I use Windows?
Windows. Yeah, you should be in Windows. The Excel, does everybody have, silly question, everybody has Excel on their computers, correct?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I don't either, because I use Google Sheets because it works just as well, but I don't think you'd advise me to use Google Sheets in this course, right? So
Absolutely, I would not, because it's not a bad thing. It's just that because this is industry specific, so it's
Right.
specific to the Excel, and the sheets are relatively similar, but miles apart. Okay, I see. See what the chat is here. I apologize if I don't see the chat message immediately, because I don't have the chat available to me at this point because I'm sharing my screen. So if it's important, if somebody can read the message for me, that would be absolutely fabulous. So that way, because otherwise I end up having to step out of the display.
Yes, we will. Don't worry, we will.
Good stuff. So right mouse click on the icon, not the text. Extract, and I'm going to say browse because I like, as I say, put everything onto my desktop. And I'm going to move this around a bit. And I'm going to say,
I can see your another screen because you shared just a one screen. If you want to share all screen, you should firstly your desktop screen, then you can open another screen.
Okay, so where's my desktop? I really have no idea.
Yeah, firstly you can close your share screen.
Mm-hmm.
After that, firstly you should open your share your desktop screen. After that, you can share your all screen.
Yeah. So I've actually got it so I can share both of them. You should be able to see the two screens I have open here.
Yes, yes, it works.
All right. Oh, thank goodness you guys are here to help me out. All right, so select folder. And you're going to select a location that you like. Okay, and I'm going to say extract. Yeah.
It is not desktop. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it is, but it's the folder. I'm using the Explorer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the file folder there. You can rename it if you want to. Now, as I said, the reason I wanted to make sure, it sounds silly, that you know how to do this, because over the years, I cannot tell you the number of times you never assume about somebody else. And so people go and try to, because if you double click on it, you can open it, but you cannot save it. So I always have to make sure everybody has extracted the files to a location of their choice, and then we're going to get going. So I'm going to give everybody time to extract and save until I come across the page, the real page 1, and it says Lesson 1, Advanced Formatting. So each lesson is grouped together like or similar type techniques. All right. Then we can see the objectives of Lesson 1. A quick review of the conditional formatting. Then we're going to create some custom formatting, conditional formatting, customizing numbers, international currency. So you can see on page 1 what your lesson objectives are going to be. Okay, so that is our goal. I move as fast or as slow as the class goes. We have 30 hours together, I think it is. And so then if I flip to page 2 in the book, if you look, you'll see what the instruction is. You've got the objective. Then they go through a lot of theory. So page 2 and page 3 is theory. And then eventually, page 4 is theory. And I'm going to go through the theory as we go through the practice, as we practice it together. All right. And so eventually, when we get to page 6, we're going to actually start the exercise. Okay. So I'm working from page 6, and I'm going to talk a little bit about conditional formatting. So I'm going to encapsulate the theory for you. The expectation is that from this point on, if you haven't already read the lesson, please do. I will tell you which lesson you'll be going to be doing tomorrow before the end of the day, so you'll be prepared for that lesson. Okay. Depending on how fast or slow we go, we might get through lesson 1 today, we might not. Who knows? Is everybody familiar with conditional formatting?
Yes.
No, I am not.
Okay, good, because we're going to do a little bit of a refresher anyways. Me neither. Okay.
Me too.
Okay, so those of you who already know it, that's terrific. You get to sit back and relax. I'm going to give you a lesson on, I'm going to talk about what conditional formatting is. Why is it important to you guys, and what is the purpose of it, other than being just told. You can see the workbook, so I'm going to close it off. Actually, no, I can't, because if I close it off, I may lose you here, so we'll see. Forgive me if I go too slow, so it's going to be file. With the background, this is the backstage, and again, no assumptions. And these are the files that I have worked with. These are my recent files here, obviously. Those that I use on a regular basis will be pinned to these guys here and shared with me. None. All right. So my go-to is always going to be recent, but then I'm going to have to go to browse. So open. Okay. And I know everybody knows this browse, but I'm never going to assume. And then I'm going to go scroll up to my desktop and student files. If at any point I lose you or you lose me, please let me know. Okay. And the file that we have to have open for today is New York temperature. New York temperatures. All right. Do you remember earlier I said to you about the fact I like to have the view of the way I see my files in this format, in the detail, because it's so much easier. I can even type in the letter N, and it might take me to New York. No, it won't. New York temperatures. There it is. It never fails. Anytime I'm teaching class, you guys can see the file before I can. Never fails. All right. Every time you should see the yellow band. That's saying because it's come from the cloud, they protected the file.
Deborah, we are seeing SAP schedule.
All right. Thank you. Okay. You will now be seeing New York schedule. Can we see that?
Thank you. Yes.
All right. Yes. Okay. And everybody is familiar with the enable editing. Why we do that? Because anything that is downloaded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is an automatic process through Microsoft Office that just says, just letting you know, by the way, may or may not be safe. So I'm giving you the opportunity to enable the editing or not. You always want to do that because, again, it lets you do things, but then when you try to go save a file or you try to do other actions with it, if you've left the enable editing on, it won't work. Okay. So let's have a look at what we have here. and then we're going to jump on to doing the conditional formatting. All right. I suppose anybody can, and I don't care how you get about this. Does anybody give me a good or a simple definition of what conditional formatting is?
Yes, let me jump in. So this is formatting when we highlight or somehow change the format of specific data. For example, temperature more than 40 degrees, or I don't know, the most high temperature. Any
Fahrenheit.
conditional
Good
that
definition.
Yeah.
Good definition. I really like that, and you've nailed it. It basically, what it is we've got a bunch of numbers here, and depending on what the values are, if one of the values fulfills that requirement, so if it's greater than 40 degrees, I want that cell fill to turn to green. If it's less than or equal 20 degrees, maybe I'd like
I am sorry. If possible, can we record the class because of maybe we need that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Is everybody else okay with that?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
All right. So for conditional formatting, the 30-second definition is that if the contents of a cell agree with a certain value or a condition, then the contents of the cell will change color. Maybe the font color will change. Maybe there'll be a border around it. A lot of things. So instead of me talking about, let's do something. All right. So what we have here is a bunch of, well, from the year 2000 to 2015. We have, I guess, all the temperatures in for New York City. I'm assuming that's the case. And we would like to be able to, at a glance, visually, we would like to be able to see very quickly if one of the temperatures is above one value or another. That's just one of the kinds of conditional formatting. So bear with me a minute. There's a lot, and I'm going to give you a quick tour of that before you even start jumping in to do that. Home tab, styles group, we have the conditional formatting command. Then you'll see the little arrow there, and again, the first group here are the ones you have highlight, top, bottom, data bars, color sets, and icon sets. 90% of your day is, or 90% of the time that you work with conditional formatting uses this. We don't need to go into anything more complex. All right. So if with some free time, the other thing is I'm going to introduce you to some of my favorite YouTubers who are Excel experts. And I'm going to share some of their videos. I'll share the links with you so you can get more information on anything that you need to. All right. So not just me. There'll be a lot of other great resources. Step one. We need to, actually I need to go to the page in the book. Yeah, I'm not going to read to you guys because you're adults and you can all read. Okay. So let's jump into it. What I'd like to do is the first time I do the triple D, display, demonstrate, and do. If it's a complex subject, I display or do it first and show you. Then if you need a second or third time, we can do it. And then the third or fourth time, and then we can do it together as a group. Okay. So the first time, let me display what it is that we're going to do and talk about why we're going to do it. So the story is here, as I think it was Katerina said. So was it Katerina? Said so perfectly about the temperatures being above a certain degree or below a certain degree. And the worksheet shows the average monthly temperature for the New York City from 2000 to 2015. We are going to create a conditional format using the ribbon to set the fill color to blue that any cell contains a temperature above 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So what it's saying is any cell in here has a value above 32 that cell is going to turn blue. All right, let's do that. Select the range, and I think we can do this part together. Select, I'll do it the first time, then we'll come back and do it. So B2 to M17. So this point, I am excluding the headings, the column headings and the row headings. And then I'm going to go to Home tab, Conditional Formatting, and then Highlight Cell Rules. Most of what we need, like I said, is going to be somewhere in here. Our day-to-day activities, not that often do you need to go elsewhere. So that's why they've been grouped together like that. So it's highlight cell rules, and it's going to be, so it's going to be any cell value less than 32 degrees. Okay, so less than, that's the easy part. And it automatically does it, so it finds median, and so what it does, it says, oh, this is what you want, and you're going to say no. You're going to type in the value 32, and this, I don't even have to click the OK or anything else. It automatically, in that range, has highlighted or applied the format, the preset format to those values. Bear with me, and we would like to make it, make sure I do this right, highlight, done. And then we're going to go down to custom. Right now, our presets are here. By that, I mean they preset it for us. Light red, yellow. These are fine, but they're saying to us we'd like to apply our own custom formatting, and so that's what I'm going to do. Mystery question of the day. Does anybody know what those three little dots are? You see that it says custom formatting?
That means more options.
Yes, ma'am. Yep. Do you know what they're called?
Oh no.
No, that's okay. I didn't expect that answer, so I'm impressed.
Ellipses?
What was that?
Ellipses?
Yes. Yes, you guys are good. Yeah. So ellipses, and they have been around forever in Microsoft and forever and ever. We see them all the time. We don't pay attention to them. So I've got the ellipses, I don't know how to say it. That way we get to control the formatting. We could do the font color, we could do the border, we could do the fill, we could do the font type. But what they are asking for us is, okay, so I'm going to go to the fill. And you notice and again, I'm not assuming anything here. The top group of colors, everything up here is a theme color. And what that means is that with the theme color, that if you change the theme, these colors change. But if you use these guys down here, these are your standard colors. These colors never change. So if you apply the slicer theme and you use the green, it's going to be green. If you have the edge theme and you select the light blue, it's always, so these are called standard colors, and these the ones on top are called theme colors. And the reason they're asking us to use standard colors, you'll see later on. All right, so it's going to be blue, third from the right. Thankfully, they tell us that. And the reason they tell you that is because we are in a dialog box. Normally, if we hover on something, we'll see a tooltip. But here we don't. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. And am I missing anything? I don't think so. We're good. Okay. Okay. So now the color, we can see at a glance immediately those cells that have a value which is less than 32 degrees. So far, so good. Each time we add a rule, the one below, the first one gets bumped down to one below, second one, so each time you add a new rule, everything gets bumped down, bumped down, bumped down. We're very shortly going to learn about that and how we can actually reorganize our rules. That's coming up very shortly. All right, so I've done that. So now we'd like to apply or create our second conditional formatting. And how we're going to do that is, again, Home tab, Styles Group, Conditional Formatting. But this time they're asking us to create our own rule. So this one is going to be from scratch, if you will. So home tab styles for conditional format. This time we're going to go down to the new rule. Alrighty. And this one is, this is where we prepare or we set everything up from 0 up. Oh dear. All right. So what is it they would like us to do? New rule. Format only cells that contain. So you notice we got a bunch of choices here. If I select the format only cells that contain, our dialog box changes. Okay, so if that cell has that number that you're going to put in there, or that text, or that date, then you're going to do the formatting. So is it going to be cell value? See, there's a lot of choices here, but right now, stay with cell value. Is it between, greater than, lesser than? Lots of choices. Okay, so we would like it to be greater than 75 degrees if my memory is correct. Okay. Now you notice here for me, I'm so sorry I cannot zoom in any better than I can. There's a little arrow with there's an arrow with a little line. You can click on it to collapse, or you can do it this way. So I just want to type it in. So, make sure I've got this right. Yes. And so make sure I've got that as contained. And the format is going to be red standard again, because you're gonna see why shortly why they're picking the standard colors. Format. Red standard. I think it's the second. That looks good. All right. Okay. That's 75. Okay, that is correct. Cell value greater than 75. Let's say okay. And there you go. So at a glance, you can see your eyes can see which values are higher than a particular value, or which cells have something that is lower than a particular value. The reason they've used the red and the green, sorry, the red and the blue, is red for hot, blue for cold, I guess it is. All right. So now I've got that done, and I'm going to go through it once, and I'm going to come back and do it again with you guys. If you feel comfortable, please go ahead and start. But if you want to just watch, I'm good with that. Okay. So now I'm keeping everything highlighted still. Okay. And you notice that the blue is really super hard to see. Okay. So I would like to come in and edit. I want to make some changes to it. So I'm going to go conditional formatting, home tab, styles group, conditional formatting. This time I'm going to go down to manage rules. Okay. And you can see the first rule we created was the blue. And the second rule we created was the red. So each time we add a new rule, one becomes two, or each time it gets bumped down, bumped down, bumped down. You can reorganize or rearrange the rules if you need to. In fact, I will have us do it. Manage rules. So the cell value is greater than 32. We need to go in here and do some editing to this rule. So select the other little tip with conditional formatting is make sure you select the rule and then select edit rules. Okay. And we don't need to change the cell value. We do not change the less than. You notice this time it says equals 32. That wasn't there before, was it? Okay, so it says equals 32. And the reason that is will come across very shortly. Format. And we're going to do light blue. So they're saying format and light blue. I guess that's the closest color to it. So light blue standard color. Again, very important to differentiate between the standard and the themes. Okay. So I don't see any change yet, not until I click on OK, and then okay. And now the colors have changed. It's easier for us to see. The next instruction is going to be click elsewhere. Okay, so now we can see the results of what we have here. So that gets me to the bottom of page 7. I'm going to flip over to page 8. Okay. And we're going to have, I'm actually going to test this to see if this actually works. So I'm working from page 8. Instruction step number 19, it says click on B6. Okay. I apologize, I have a squeaky chair, I can't do anything about it. So in B6, we are going to apply one of the theme colors. So then you're going to see the changes. So home tab. Make sure I do this right. Gold accent forward, lighter 40. Home tab font group. Fill color. And you notice this time when I'm not in the dialog box, you notice that we can actually see the colors. They'll actually get the little tooltips on the bottom because we're not in the dialog box. We actually can see them. Okay, so it's gold accent 4, lighter 40. Let's have a look at that. Gold, lighter 40. So again, I apologize if this is stuff that you guys know. So lighter 80, 60, 40, darker 25, and darker 50. So that's how it goes. So I believe it's 40. So who takes priority? Is it the font, the color I've manually applied to it, or is it? Let's click elsewhere. So priority is always given to the conditional formatting. Doesn't matter what I do, but conditional formatting is the most important priority. That's why we cannot see my color there. Okay, so it says for us to type in the number in F5. So then it's going to ask us to type in one value here, which is 31. As soon as I press the Enter key, again, conditional formatting is the most important thing here. Okay. And in C5, 75.1. C5. So this is going to automatically be greater than. So it flips to the red. So Excel is saying, is it the rule? I shall follow it. And in B6, I'm going to type in 40. And this is the money shot right here. What happens in B6? So I'm going to type in 40. As soon as I press enter, because 40 is not below 32 or higher than 70 or 70 75, suddenly it doesn't have any conditional formatting rules. So now we see the gold. Only now. Okay, so I've done that and undo. So you've got the undo button here, or you can, if you are a keyboard user, Control Z undoes. I'm going to do the undo here. So that's why that. So Excel has gone through and says, oh, that's low. That value is lower than 32. I'm going to apply the blue. Oh, that value is higher than 70 or 70. Yeah, 70. I'm going to apply the red. Okay. And one of my rules is anytime I get a workbook given to me or shared with me from somebody I've not worked with before, I will always go and see if I can find out what conditional formatting they've got in, because sometimes people don't know what they're doing with it. So you may come across a point where you need to get rid of or remove or clear these rules. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do now. Then we're going to come back and do it together. How do you guys normally do your classes? Because normally I demonstrate and we do it together. do you prefer to be able to just watch me and do it on your own time?
Yes.
All right,
Yeah,
perfect.
because this is pretty straightforward.
Yes.
Like I take notes if I feel like that's a little more complicated, or not complicated, but like something that I might forget. I write it down. That's how I do it personally. I don't know about the rest of the class though.
Okay, I like that because otherwise we're only together for a couple of hours. So I'd like to be able to make the most of that time with you. And you let me know when you guys need a break or if you need a break. I think we're okay. It's only a couple of hours. And if you need to leave for any reason, you just do what you got to do.
And if we have any questions, we can pop them, right?
Speak up immediately. Please
Okay.
do. Yes. Because I don't know, I've only just met you, so I don't know how people do things, and I'm very open to ask me anything. All right. So yeah, it's pretty standard so far, but not everybody knows this, so we're going to get everybody up to speed. And it's a beautiful little tutorial. All right, so done that, and then you notice I actually did something I didn't even think about it. I automatically highlighted the cells, and so what I need, you don't need to do that. You don't need to highlight them. So I'm going to go to clear the entire sheet, Home tab, Styles Group, Conditional Formatting. You've got clear rules, and I would like to say the entire sheet. So everything goes, except for my little gold star there.
So to clear rules, no highlighting of the data is necessary.
Yes and no. Okay, bear with me 1 minute. So that's if I've cleared it for the entire workbook. But what if I only want to clear the rules for this range? This range
Then
is
you would.
tab Styles Group. Yep. Clear rules from selected cells. Okay. And if you were watching me, I did something without even thinking about it. I selected the range in anticipation of clearing the rules. So yeah. Okay. So that's that part, and I'm just going to continue going on. I don't need to stop for anything. Like one of my favorite parts is coming up. Is
Sorry, should we repeat it or?
Would you like to repeat it? That's what I was trying to find out. Did you want to try it in class, or did you just want to watch me demonstrate?
I don't know.
We can do it together. It doesn't take long. All right. So I'm just going to say. Okay. All right. Let's do it just to get everybody up to speed for now. We'll do it together. So we've selected the range from B2 to M17. All right. And then we're going to go to Home tab, Styles Group, Conditional Formatting. And if you remember, I said to you that most of what we do in our day-to-day activities is usually done with one of these two groupings here. All right. So conditional formatting highlights cell rules. And I believe the first one is less than 32. So we're going to do the blue one first. Okay. So less than. And the value we're going to put, so any cell that is value is less than 32 is going to have some kind of formatting. What the book says to us, by the way, I'd like you to apply your own custom formatting. So that you want to use the font that you want. If you want to use the fill that you want, you get to create it the way you want to. So we'll go 32. And when I click on the drop down arrow to the right here, I'm going to select custom format. Okay. Don't forget, you'll also have a recording of this too, so hopefully that will help out. And the color that I'm doing is going to be dark blue. I think this is dark blue. I think it's third from the right. And just to remind you, because we are in the dialog box, that's why we don't see the tooltip. Dark blue or blue. So far, so good. So then I'm going to say OK, and as soon as I click on the OK, everything is there. So then they're going to ask us to create another or a second conditional formatting with the values that are higher than 70. Okay. And how we do that? Again, keeping everything highlighted. We're going to go to Home tab, conditional formatting. This time, we are creating the rule from scratch ourselves. Alrighty. And how we do that is new rule. It's kind of neat. I actually prefer to create my own rules, but that's me. And we are faced with this rather interesting looking dialog box. Format only cells that contain. Okay. When we do that, our dialog box changes. And cell value. So if we had a date, we would change something from the cell value to the date occurring, or if you want blanks. Whatever it is, whatever that condition is that we want it to fulfill or commit to, yeah. All right. The cell value is going to be greater than. As soon as I click on the greater than, we're going to lose this guy on the right here. It's greater than, so our dialog box changes a little bit. And then we can just type in the value. Is it 70? 32. I can never remember which one it was. I think it's 70. And I'm 75. Sorry. Okay. Greater than 75. This time, I directly go to formatting, and when you do the conditional, when you do your own rule, you have to do everything. Okay. And how do we? Let's have a go. Okay. So format. Today, Deborah. And again, we're using the standard colors. None of the theme colors yet. And then okay, nothing happens yet because we're not completed. All right, and then okay. So I just admitted somebody. So now the first rule. Initially, the first rule was a blue one. So now, if we go back into conditional formatting, manage rules. Okay. So now the red one is first and the blue is second. If we added a third one, it always goes from the top down. Okay. So now they're asking us to match, so I can say okay to that, and I'm going to click elsewhere. So I'm going to deselect my range here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to B6, which is here, and we're going to apply some formatting. And when we apply the formatting, you're not going to see any changes quite yet. Okay, so home tab, font group, and font fill. This time they would like us to use the gold, and I believe gold accent for, I believe it was lighter 60 or lighter 40. I think it's lighter 40, yes. So I have the book on the other side of the desk. Remembering, conditional formatting is the most important thing. That's why we don't see that particular color. I'm admitting again. Somebody's not having a lot of good luck. Okay. So far so good. Then they're going to ask us to enter some values in. So in F5, I'm going to type in the number 31. So DEF5. Oh, I hadn't changed it. That's why it looked like that. So 31. That's why. That's color. And C5. Oh, that's right. I did it 75. So if it was 70, you don't see it. But if we type in 75.1, it's that 0.1 that makes it greater than the 75. I press the enter key, and that automatically says, "Yep, you're higher than." Let's do it that way. So then the last thing they're going to ask us to do, and in B6, I'm going to type in. I can barely see. In B6. Now, when we entered in the value 40, what it means is basically it went through. So it's neither the first rule or second rule. So now we see whatever is in those cells. Undo or Control Z, and your quick access toolbar. And now they're going to say clear rules for the entire worksheet. So conditional home tab, styles group, conditional formatting. We've got two choices: clear rules from selected or clear rules from the entire sheet. Okay. Then we noticed that the one cell that does have some kind of formatting on it is still the B6. B6 selected. Home tab, font group. Do I want me to use clear rules? No fill. Okay, no fill. No fill here. Okay. Has any of you done, has anybody had the opportunity to create conditional formatting using a formula? Or is that new to you? A lot of people it tends to be.
I don't know how to do that.
That's okay,
Never
neither
did
do
it.
I.
Yeah.
No, I do.
You.
I hope I do.
Yeah.
This one is a bit more complex, so I'm going to have to sort of step through a couple of things to make sure everybody's good with it. And what it means is, actually, let me open up the file, and then I can do it. So there might be, if a cell is greater than, I'm not even going to say anything till I get to the right location. So I've got New York temperatures again. I'm going to go through this part a couple of times. So, so New York temperatures open again using the same file, I'm assuming. Okay. And say that as New York temperatures, formatting formulas, dash student. When it says dash student, you don't need to put student. You can do dash your name or dash your initials. I always do my initials. File, save as. And click once and again. Click once to highlight the area, then my initial DJY. All right. So yeah.
I have a question.
Go for
When I want to conditional formatting, I did everything. However, it choose higher than 32. I don't know why.
That's strange. Did you want to share your screen?
Yeah, for sure.
I think I set it up that you can do that. Yeah, that's one thing I did do. So I'm going to say stop sharing.
Okay. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
I can. Yeah. So the blue looks good.
Yeah. However, this is it is like 35, but it is blue. I don't know why.
So let's do me a favor. Select the range B2 to whatever it is, all the way through.
Okay.
Then go Home tab, conditional formatting.
Okay. The first clear, right?
Nope.
Okay.
I wanted to see this one.
This one and the less than, right?
Yeah. So.
And it is classic, and this one, and the bottom.
No, not top and bottom. No. Or is that how you do the higher and lower? So can you go back to format only top or bottom right? Okay, classic is correct. What's the next one? Only cells that contain. Top option.
This one?
Up one more.
Yeah,
format
this
cells
one.
that contain. Yes. Cell value is less than 32, is it? Or 31? Less than.
Okay.
Yeah. And then do the formatting, custom format. Okay, standard. And then okay, and then okay.
Okay, right now. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thanks.
This is a very useful little conditional formatting. As silly as it sounds, it's one of the more useful things.
Okay. Thanks.
Well, I'm at 100%. Let me zoom in so I can actually see what I'm doing. Okay. Maybe that's a bit too much. So then when we're working with a rule, what it says is there's 2 or 3 things happening at the same time. Up until now, we've said if the cell is greater than a value, so it's yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. It truly is just true, false, or yes, no. With the formula, okay, and I've got to make sure I read this one correctly. So if the rules that we have don't do what we want, sometimes we have to create our own set of rules, and sometimes those rules have to incorporate a formula. If we do end up incorporating or including a formula in it, a couple of things that we need to make sure. Okay, there's two rules, two very important rules. Rule number one: when we do the formula, the response they can either be true, false. So is okay. Does A2 is it greater than or something? And if it's true, do this. If it's false, do not do that. So true, you do something. False, you do nothing. Okay. The other one, the other rule that we have to tell Excel to abide by is the upper left-hand corner of the range has to be where we start. This probably means nothing to you. Let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, so there's some reading to do, and I'm going to type in cell B19, I'm going to type in Feb. And what we're eventually going to be doing is we're going to create rules that say if does any one of these cells equal Feb. If it does, apply some kind of formatting. And then the next rule we're going to apply is going to be right next to it, and that's going to be 2001. 2001. So that secondary rule, almost ran into a problem here, but we did not. So you notice that when I went into 2001, it went to 0.0. They purposefully formatted it that way. And so we need to go in, and I know you guys probably already know this. Home tab, editing group, the incredible clear. This is a very powerful little tool. We only want the format. So the number format will be cleared. The contents will remain the same. Okay, so clear format. And if you notice up on the ribbon, it says general, not a number beforehand. So they're kind of sneaking one in underneath the radar, if you will. So that means I'm going to flip from page 9 to page 10. And I can show you what I've been talking about. Because right now, probably everybody's going, I have no idea what she's talking about. Which is fine, because by the time I'm finished, you will know it and you'll know it well. All right. So I'm at the top of page 10, and I'm just moving everything around a bit, trying not to knock everything over. At the top of page 10, step number 4, it says to ask me to select the range A1 to M17. So, and hopefully you guys can see me do this. My dexterity is not that good. When you select the range from top to bottom, and I'm not trying to be cutesy when I do this, but because my screen is so big, then suddenly I'm jumping all around. If you go from the very bottom to the very top, so from M17, it's easier to go to the left and go up than it is from the right and go down. Okay, that's my tip of the day. First time we did not incorporate or include the headings, the column headings or the row headings. This time we need to, because we're going to say if in one of these cells here, if it equals Feb, I'm going to apply some kind of format. Okay, so let's have a look here. I'm going to go through this a couple of times just to make sure that we're comfortable with it. Okay, Home tab, Styles group, conditional formatting. I'm going to go all the way down to new rule. Tell you, first time I had to do this, I was scared out of my gourd. I was just like, I can't do this. So I'd like to use a formula to determine which cells to format. You will type in everything. Normally when we work with, normally when I work with Excel, I tend to do a lot of clicking. This is one of the few times I'm going to type in exactly what I need to, and I'll show you why. I just want to do this. I technically only want to select, say, cell maybe B2 or 3. Suddenly you've got equals, you've somehow or other it's absoluted it. I don't want it to do that. So that's why I type it in. Two rules. Number 1, equals. That's it. That's a good, easy rule for us to remember. Okay. And A1 equals B10, like B whatever it is. I'll check that. I'm sorry, I'm just reaching over. So equals A1 equals $B $19, I think it is. Okay, so yeah. Is everybody comfortable with absolute and relative cell references?
Yes, from my side. I can only speak on behalf of myself. Yes.
Absolutely. No. Funny because I just taught that this morning, so if we need to, we can we can review. We may have to review that later on. If there's anything you're not too sure about, let me know. Let's have a look at these rules before I do my formatting. Rule 1 is the formula has to start with wherever, so from A1. Okay, so that's why we're including that. It's the top left-hand corner of my range is A1. It can be different, but for this purpose of rule 1, it has to be the top left-hand cell is included in the formula. And the second rule is the result has to be true, false, or yes or no. Okay, so does A1 equal B19? Yes or no? Does A2 equal B19? Yes or no? A3. So you've fulfilled or serviced or served both rules correctly. All right. A1 so equals because it's a formula, and I'm asking, does A1 equal the contents or whatever is in B19? I think it's green standard is what color. If I miss something and I use the wrong color, please forgive me. Okay, and standard green, I think it's this one. Green is close enough. It's okay. Okay. Let's see, because we're not quite there yet. Okay, so we got to the point. Let's see what happens when I click on OK, and let's see why. Didn't work. Why did you not work? Oh, that's terrible. What the heck did I do? Okay. Oh, Deborah, you clicked on something. But see, I did not mean to do this. A1 equals $B. Sorry, I can't do that. So it's A1. $B $19. $B because I want it to be the cell B, column B, and 19. So only if and if only does whatever is in my cell does it supply. Is it correct? Okay. My heart was going pitter patter. Here's the thing: we were possibly expecting to see the entire column of February come, but the only cell that is exactly that is cell C1. Okay. Of all these cells, there's only one cell. If I look at the contents A1, does it equal B19? True, false, no. Let's say I use M15. Does that equal B19? No. The only cell that fulfills that is C1. It's the only one that is exactly the same as B19. We're going to do a little bit more, but one of the things we're going to do very shortly is play around with this formula a little bit. We're going to make it so the entire column C will actually appear. Let's see how we can do that. Okay. So that was step number 10, and it says exactly what I said it would about following the rules. All right. So it's true, false. and we started off in A1 because we have to use, eventually we're going to be looking in here somewhere too. But let's fix it so that, let me get in here and do it, and then I'll talk about it. So Home tab, conditional formatting, manage rules. Select the, again, make sure you always select the rule. Never assume that it's selected. And then edit. Okay. So what we want to do, using something called mixed cell references, or it's a combination of absolute and relative cell references, I want the entire column C to be highlighted. Okay. How we do that is by $1. So what we're saying is, no matter where I am, in the row 1, it's going to be $1, so A1 here. And we're going to do the green. Okay. Here, just making sure I don't miss anything here. Okay. I could, if I was doing anything more in there, I would do apply, but now it's okay. The reason, actually, rather than me saying it, why did I absolute the letter versus the number? Or not, sorry, the number versus the letter. Okay. This is a bit of a tricky one, so it's okay if nobody knows this, because when you're doing a mixed cell reference, so like the dollar signs in that, if we only want the row, we put the dollar sign in front of the row. So C1, okay, A1, B1, C1. So anything in the row C or column C will become highlighted because we're saying this row. Okay, let me go back in here and show you. It's a really tricky concept to wrap your head around. Okay, and edit, and okay, so got that, so that's fine. I apologize. So any cell that is the C1, that's why we do it. Deborah, explain it better. I just finished explaining it this morning, so so true because it's the row, not just that row. All right. What if we were to do the same thing, but we were to try with the column, not the row. My mistake. We're going to do the same thing, and it's okay so far. We've got one rule, so now we're going to apply a second rule. Sorry about the creaky chair. Okay. So now we're going to apply a second rule, and we're going to do. Make sure I'm not missing a page here. So C1 is done. Green. We change the rules because we want everything to refer to the row only, not the actual cell itself. Okay, so we're allowing anything in that row for C1. Okay. So far, so good. Let's do a second conditional formatting. Applying a rule.
Excuse me, Deborah.
Yes.
Can you explain this rule? This rule $1
Sure.
$B dollar.
Yeah. Can I ask a question as well? Sorry, you finished.
A little bit confusing. It is
very
just
confusing. Okay. That's it. Okay, hang tight.
Can I just ask, what is the dollar? Why does the dollar signs go in there?
You can manually type them in, or you can use the F4 key. Okay.
No, but I mean, like,
why?
It's difficult to remember if I don't understand why a dollar sign goes in the formula.
The reason it hang tight. Bear with me 1 minute. I'm going to open up another file for you. So you may lose me for 1 second here. I hope not. New York temperatures, grade, so references work for 3.
Debra,
Yes.
if possible, let me in Pınar, please.
I beg your pardon? Somebody
The
coming in
Pınar
again?
is gone because of yes. Thank you.
Okay, just give me a second here. Okay, now I'm outside there. So share. Let me do my share first, okay? Then I can come back and let somebody in. And
In the meantime, can I call you Deborah?
you may call me anything you like.
Okay, do you prefer
Professor?
Debbie?
No, Debbie's fine. Deb's fine.
Debbie, okay, perfect. So I just want to confirm, like, what you just demonstrated is you highlighted the entire column C, but I'm really confused as to why the formula contained A.
Yes. I'm going to explain that, and it's going to take us a few minutes, believe it or not. That's what 2 little keystrokes is going to take a long time, so bear with me 1 minute. I'm actually going to go back into, bear with me 1 more moment. All right, it's going to go to share. Okay, and I'm going to say, let's mute sharing. You'll laugh at this one. This will explain one part of it, I hope, for you. So I'm going to go to share here. And I will happily post this in a chat for you. And it explains about what is mixed cell references. Okay. And I also have a handout I can share with you just in case you're a little bit unsure. Normally, I'm jumping as equals the column. I'm going to multiply. It will make sense after by the row. It doesn't make a difference. So it's A2 multiplied by B1. You want to make it that anytime you copy across, so B1 will become C1, become D1, become E1, become F1. Okay. So that's why I put the $sign in front of the row, because it's A1, B1, C1, D1, E1, F1. Okay. This is one of my favorite exercises to teach people about conditions for absolute and relative cell references. If I want to refer to anything in the column A, so it's A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7. Okay, so the moment you hear the repetition of the A, $sign is there. Except I did it in the wrong location. Darn. Okay. If I was to copy that down, it would work. If I was to copy it across, it would work. And we're going to go and see why. Okay. So because I copied across, it's A5. So A5 by G1. If I was to maybe grab this guy here, edit mode, it's going to be A7 multiplied by K1. Okay, so it's always referring to that location. It knows to go across to column A, and it says I'm in row 7, so I'm going to do A7. If I copied it down, it will be $A8. Right, so we'll go down here, we'll see it's $A8 because I copied it out. A8 becomes A9, becomes A10. That is what's considered a mixed cell reference. Okay, and that's what they're trying to have us do over there. That's why we did the $1. No matter where we are, if I'm in that set column C1, so $C$1, sorry, then I'm here, so it's C1. If I'm down here, I'm still referring to C1. Okay. So even though I copied down and across, because I put the $sign in front of the 1, row 1 never changes. Because I put the $sign in front of the A, The row column A never changes.
Okay.
I'm going to share this exercise with you. I'm not going to go too much more into it, but I'll share it with you. It goes through the basics, right? How to copy cells across and down. It goes through the differences between the mixed and the absolute and mixed cell references. Okay, and I also have a YouTube video too that I can share with you. But so that's why when I put $sign in front of it, doesn't matter where I am, it's in front of the 1, so it's E1. Because I put the, doesn't matter where I'm sitting, because I put the $sign in front of the A, I'm always going to refer to A something. Okay, if I go over here, let's not do that one. Let's do K. Okay, because I put the $sign in front of the 1, it's not going to be K5. It's going to be K1. All right. So that's why we did $1, because no matter where we are, we always want to refer to that row. So what happens is, now bearing that in mind, I'm going to skip back. Keep that in mind now. All right. And so I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to go back to new share. Go back to my New York. Okay. Now, with me, so what we said. Oh, go back and do this again. Sorry, I should not have deselected. Go back over here, home tab, styles group, conditional formatting. Take a deep breath. Mantras. Okay. Edit rules. We can actually see what's going on. So that way it says if it's the 1, and I'm actually sitting in that row where it is C1. So if I look up here and I see I see the Feb, I'm going to turn green. Okay. Because it's C1. But if I look up here and I go over to this cell, it's F1. But so it's not the same. It's not true. It takes time to be able to wrap your head around this. This is not an instantaneous process.
Yeah, I think I'm understanding you. So the A1 just means that like those headers, the year.
That's where we start. Yes.
Need to be whatever represented in it or something.
So, don't forget the 2 rules. It's the first rule is yes or no, true or false, and the other rule is even though it may not be true, I still have to start off at the very beginning, and because I'm going to be using the years very shortly. So that's why I selected, or they asked us to select the A1. So that's why. All right, let's try the second one. I think when you see the second one, it will make a little bit more sense because now you're knowing sort of what to expect. So I've got everything highlighted again. All right. Breathe, home tab, styles group, conditional formatting. And I'm going to say, I think the book says manage rules. I've done this enough times, I think it does. Okay, because I'm going to add a secondary rule. So you notice, can I add a rule? Yes, I can. New rule. Go through the same process. I need to create a formula. And I'm going to cheat because I'm using the book this time, just so you guys know. And it's going to be make sure I do the second one. A1 equals B19. So the next one is going to be equals. And again, one of the few times I'm typing it in. Doesn't matter if caps no, but it looks better. A1 equals C19. Now I'm going to figure out where I'm going to be putting my notice I do it first and then I apply my $sign so I know exactly what I'm going to be doing. So, and $A, because this time when we're looking, we want to look in the column A. So it's $A. So it's going to go A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7. And I want it to, yeah, C19. And I'm just going to grab, I think it's orange or red. I'm just going to grab red if it's okay, just for convenience sake. And then okay. And then okay. So rule 1 was the green, now it's second rule. And then okay. What does that do wrong? Oh. Edit rule. $A1 equals. I've just finished talking to you guys about absoluting. It only refers to $C, $19. Because only that cell. I can't believe I did that. I just finished teaching this class in the morning, by the way. And let's say okay. Let's say apply. We're good. Okay. So each one of these cells, what it did by the conditional formatting, it said anything if it's A1, does it equal 2001? No, it doesn't. Go down to the next one. A2, does it equal whatever's in here? No, it doesn't. A3, yes, it does. Why does it do the whole row? Because we did the $A. Yeah, think about it. Because it's the column and it's going up and down the column. So when it gets to that point, yes, I'm going to stop here. And again, I'm just going to do the formula here so we can see it. And so it's going to be $A and C19. When I do this, you're going to get either a true or false. So yeah, but that's exactly what it's saying is when it gets to, is that yes, yes, no, no, yes, no. And because it's the column A, I can do the whole row. Kind of a lot to wrap your head around, isn't it?
I'm starting to understand it a little. So red is true because it's equal to 2001. It is within that. A. It applies to 2001, all of that, the entire row.
Yeah. Well, let's do this. Let's try 2014, 2014.
It's going to turn unread.
Now it's gone down there. Because that equals, because we had the $sign, we said anything in the row column A, because everybody here is referring, every one of these over here is referring to this cell here. Everyone here is referring to this cell here, the column A. Okay. I tell you, the irony of the fact that we are doing what I taught in the morning is not lost on me. All right, so save and close. Custom cell format. Okay, what is there? Just before I go any further, is everybody good with that? Because there's a lot of people in the class. I just want to make sure we're comfortable.
I get it.
Okay, so if you get it and nobody else is going to say anything, you are speaking for the class. Speak up or forever hold your peace, as they say. Alrighty.
If possible, could you do again this page, because of I missed the red one.
Yeah. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the formatting from here. First, I'm going to make it 2001. All right. So again, you notice it went up there. So let me clear. Actually, I can probably clear the entire table. Doesn't make sense. Conditional formatting. Clear. So I'm starting from scratch. Okay. So fulfill the rule that the top left hand. So if it was something regarding D1, then I would just select that would be equals D1. If it was, it doesn't necessarily have to be A1. It's just the way that they've set it up. I just want to make sure that that's clear. So I'm going to select the entire range already. take a breath there. And home tab, conditional formatting. And then we're going to go down to new rule. This is the one time I think you may be able to create a rule using one of these defaults presets, but honestly, it's better you just go to this, just do it yourself if you can. Use a formula to determine which cells are to format. Okay. Always typing in here. No, don't do what I did before and click, because otherwise crazy things happen. So because it's a formula, you start off with saying, does equals A1, does A1 equal B19? Okay, so equals A1 equals B19. Okay, so that's the question we're going to ask. And if we do that right now, and I'm going to do that in a second, I'm just going to grab a color, just green, I guess, and then okay. Make sure I have not missed anything. I want to make sure A1 equals B19. Okay. And okay. Standard green. So let's do that. Okay. And I'm going to make sure so it's B19. Remember, this is the one I have to make sure it's exact. So it's completely absolute $B because I want the column B, $19 because I want the row 19. So that's why you have A1 equals B19. So then it's going to say yes or no. Okay. And we know when we clicked on OK, it said, yeah, this is the only cell exactly in that range. So this is the only cell that it fulfilled or fit that criteria. Every other one of these cells said, nope, not true. This is the only one that the cell could say, yes, the contents of this cell is the same as in the contents of B19. And that's fine. But we did not even need to create a formula to do that. But if we wanted to do the column or the row, so we want the entire column to refer to it, or the entire row, we're going to have to come back in and make a change. Okay. So I've selected my range once again. Home tab. Take a breather dab. Styles group. Conditional formatting. Manage rules. All right, so go back in. Always selecting. Edit my rule. And we're going to go back in and make a change. Now, if anybody could tell me, I don't care if you cheat. It's fine by me by reading it. It's why I put a $sign in front of the letter or the number.
Sign, but we need a $sign before A, right?
Don't forget A1, B1, C1, D1, E1. So it's actually going to be in front of the number. Okay. When we go the column, it's going to be in front of the letter. So I could be anywhere in here as long as I'm in the column C, because this is constantly changing. And it refers to 1. I'm going to say, okay, once I've done this, I'm going to come back and we're going to have a look. Okay. And then, okay. So what happened? So what we said was, I'm in column C, and I'm going to refer to C to whatever row 1 it is. Okay. So that's why the column C worked. But any one of these other cells, so if I grab this guy here, F8, it goes up to the row 1. Does whatever's in here, does that equal down here? No. Okay, because I've absoluted when I do not, no matter where I am, even though the cell references change, the one that cannot change is the row. So that's why it could be C1, it could be J1, it could be K1, but the only one that I know when I go up to the row here, does that equal that? Okay. This is one of those exercises you probably want to just play around a little bit with it. So let's apply the second one, the second rule. And remember, the first one gets bumped down and the second row is number 1. So home tab, styles group, conditional formatting. I can do new rule, but I think I'm going to do the manage rules. That way I can get right in there. So we can see our first rule. All right. And I'd like to apply a second rule. So new rule, formula. Okay. So again, equals, because the first time we were going across, it was A1, B1, C1, D1. Let me get this in here. Equals C19. Okay. And this one is going to be $. And because it's going to be A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, because I'm looking in this column here. So do I put the $sign in front of the letter A or the number 1? A. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay, $sign there. Format. And I think it's red. I'm going to make it red anyways. And then okay. And then okay, nothing yet. As soon as I either hit apply or okay, then it's going to happen. Magic is going to happen. So let's say okay. So it's second. I did it wrong again. Edit. I somehow or other I clicked on it again. I'm so sorry. I've got to be very careful about that. Did not do that to make the point, but it's kind of ironic that it did happen that way. So it's $A1 equals $C19. Okay. My heart was racing there again. So you have to be very careful about how you enter the values in, as you can tell. How did it do this? How can we make sense of this one? So what it said was, doesn't matter where I am, because it's not, I'm anything in the column A, whatever is, let's say I'm in the second row here. Does that, because it's $A, so A can never change. Does that equal down here? Yes, no, no. If I grab maybe the cell B2, whatever's to the left of that, because remember it's $A, so the A never changes. Does that equal whatever's in here? Does that equal here? No. The only places it does is the row 3, because that's where 2001 is. Okay, that's a lot, eh? It takes, please be patient with yourselves. It does take time. And you've just met me, so it's all new. Now, the next thing they're going to ask us to do is just to kind of play around with it a little bit. And okay, so we've done that. We've done the edit. Oh, what are we going to do now? Edit. Oh, done that. Okay, so we've added the second one. Done that. $A. I should have been orange. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. And what if we wanted to make, it's kind of hard to read where I am. What if I wanted to make the green rule first priority and the second rule, the red rule second priority? I will go, first of all, before I do anything more, select the range that you want to apply it. Don't do that, it ain't going to work. Home tab, styles group, conditional formatting, manage rules. You're going to hear my voice in your dreams tonight. Right now, the first rule is the red, but I want to make the green first rule. So I can select the green rule, and you'll see there's an up and a down arrow. Actually, there's right now there's only a down. I can promote or move this up, so suddenly, when we go back here and we have a look, green sits on top because it's the first rule. Red sits underneath because it's the second rule. So the priority in which you apply or you organize them can make a difference. Okay. So that's conditional formatting. I will, like I said, I will share the other file and that I teach in the morning class with, if you want to. I'm happy to share that.
Debbie, I have a question.
Yes.
Isn't this sort of inaccurate? I didn't notice it when the red was overlapping the green.
Mhm.
Like the cell number C3, 35.9. So that, I feel like it should be red and green. Like it should be like both somehow. Maybe it should have a red border, right?
Oh,
Because
no.
this is inaccurate information now. It's showing that
Oh, we can
red does not
create a
apply.
special rule. We can create a special rule if it fits two rules. It will be
Mhm.
green and red.
Oh.
Yes and no. You can have a green border, but you can only ever have one fill, one border, one font, one everything. When
Oh,
cell,
Deborah, isn't it has a gradient?
gradients are different. Now you're messing with me. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Though it's each cell has, even though it can apply two different rules, only one rule can be true. Remember the first thing we said about rules? The answer has to be yes or no, true or false. Okay. And so the first one we said, so it's a step, the first rule is going to be the green one. So that's why it's sitting on top. And if you think about it, the way, when I learned it, this is how I remembered it, is the priorities. Okay, manage. The one that sits on top is the one that sits on top here. So if I switch it around, so let's say move down. So suddenly the first priority is going to say, go look at that rule, the first rule there. If it's true, do something. If it's not, don't do something. Then it says, well, because we've already fulfilled this rule, it can't be green and red. It has to be green or red. So we said, just who gets there first. You think about it as a little bit of a race. You've got the green and the red running, and whoever gets there first gets that cell. And so the red, because we did the red first, they got there first. So their rule is true, which means the green rule is not true. It's still true, but it's not true. Okay.
Right.
Yes, but no.
Right.
Yeah.
The red takes priority.
Yep, you got it. You got it. So I'm going to say okay. And there's for you.
Deborah,
Yes.
what if we choose as a rule for green, instead of green filling, we choose green font, green text,
Let's
and
do it.
then for the red rule we choose red filling. We would be the red filling with green text, with green font.
Let's find out. Let's find out. So the red one is going to be the red font, correct?
Yes.
All right. So bear with me 1 minute. I love this. So it's going to be no color font. I'm just going to make it bold italic, and I'm going to make the font color red, just because I want to make it a little fancier. So red was first, correct? Okay. And then okay. So then the green is going to be staying the green, right?
Yes.
All right. So let's say okay. Nope. Still
No.
one per customer.
Right.
Yeah. But it's a good idea though. Okay, how are we doing for time? We're doing fine for time. Okay, normally. Now then, I'm going to move, if it's okay, I'm going to move to the next part of exercise. And I need to warn you, or at least caution you. One of the things, I'm going to turn this off for I'm going to talk to you guys for a second here. Is, bear with me. Okay, I'm going to go back over here, going to go here, going to go share, stop sharing. And then you're going to see my beauteous face. I'm just going to chat for a sec with you guys. Okay. And that's me. So depending on how your computer is set up, whether will impact how this next part works. Okay, so if you your system date and time, which is inside your computer, we see the system date time. So if you look in the bottom right corner on your taskbar, you will see the system time or the system date, and that is an internal process that goes on whether the computer is on or off. It's run by a little battery, and so depending on where the location or where you set up your location, and you do that in locale, region, and locale. So you can actually change. Some people like to have their whatever their native language is, so they may change their language, or they may change where their locale is. But basically, where am I right now? I'm in North America, but I'm in Canada. But this is a brand spanking new computer, so I haven't quite set it up yet. Okay, so I just wanted to caution you, but you might find there's an acronym. And to everybody, I'm going to give you an acronym. YMMV, and what that means is, has anybody ever seen this acronym MMV? Does anybody know what that means? Has anybody ever heard the expression "your mileage may vary"? Okay, your mileage may vary, and what that's a computer acronym basically is saying what may be sitting on your computer may look slightly different from my computer. So your mileage may vary. That's what that means. Because if actually this computer's from China, so or if you've got your system set up for the US or Canada, so what you see might be slightly different. It's still correct, but it may look slightly different, or the results might be slightly different. Okay, so the other one, just because I'm here, is GIYF. Google is your friend. Okay, so Google is your friend. Those are the two we need to know for the day. So let's get on to this. I anticipate us, because we're at 3:30 now, I anticipate us being able to get through a little bit more today. I only have you for, how many hours am I having you for? I think it's 30 hours. So I'm gonna have to be a bit selective about what we do. Okay.
Deborah, may suggest a decision.
Sorry?
I would like to share my opinion what we have to pay more attention to.
By all means, it's your field.
Yes. So since we have to pass the exam, we can learn Excel by ourselves, but we need instructor to pay our attention. What tricky questions are in this particular exam, and
yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, that's exactly where I was going. Are you going to be have you taken the Excel core, or are you taking the expert level exam?
I'm going to take an expert level.
Okay. Have you taken the core?
Not from Microsoft.
Okay. I've been administering these tests for a long time. Depending on your strength, here's the thing, depending on your strength, how confident you are and how much time you have to practice it, that is going to be the key. I'm going to give you some resources. I've got a lot of websites I go to, lots of videos. I'm going to share with you YouTube sites that focus completely on teaching you how to learn these, to practice and prepare for these tests. So yeah, I have not gone through. I've got the expert, but I do know it's 2016. That's right, I do. Okay, so let's keep progressing through this. And the problem with yours is a great approach. The problem is we've got different levels of everybody in here. I can guarantee you not everybody's at the same level. Okay, so I have to try and accommodate mostly everybody if I can. So if I sound like I'm being too basic, please understand that. Because my goal here is A, to help you learn Excel, and B, to help you pass if I can. Okay. So I'm going to give you some resources. They will be available to you guys for tomorrow before we start class. I will share with you all my resources. In fact, I think I could probably do it right after class. Okay. I've got them in a Google Drive. Also, have you been given access to the geometrics yet?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been able to? Yes.
No, I'm not.
Okay, we need to get you hooked up with that then. The geometrics, what that does, you learn the techniques with me, and then you go and practice using the geometrics the geometrics application. The reason you want to do that is because the way the tests are applied, there's a certain way that the testing itself, the MOS testing, which is done by Certiport, I have to think about that, is their testing method. The way you have to click on a cell, type in something, it's very specific. You can do something that you think is correct, but Certiport may not think it's correct. So the geometrics I will teach you the how or the why, and geometrics will teach you how to actually do it when you go for the actual test itself. It'll train you how to understand what Certiport is trying to tell you. It's not a cheat, but it's training us. You've heard of the expression muscle memory. It's training us how to do things the way to pass a certification test. Okay. And it's been a few years since I had done the 2016 test. It's been a while.
Debbie, I tried to download the geometrics.
Yes.
But we need a username and password, and I've missed that. Do you know it?
Yeah. I might have it, but I think the best one I'm gonna ask and Sue. In fact, if it's okay, I'm gonna write this down so I don't forget. Geometrics.
No, okay, guys, you when you download the program, you should send an email for Tricky. I am not sure her name. Then she will send username and password.
Is it Tracy or is it Ansuya?
Oh yeah,
Tracy.
yes, I remember. Sophia
Okay.
told us to do that.
All right.
Okay, never mind. I'll do that. Thank you.
Deborah,
Okay.
Yes.
can I interrupt you guys for 1 second?
Ugh.
So you actually cannot download before you get the username or password. So you have to get the username and password first, and then you can
Yes.
download.
You have to
Yes.
register, and then you can get you can log in. Yes.
So just
I
like
know there's a very strange order to do it, but you have to register with geometrics first. You have your username and your password, and then once you've got that done, then you can sign into geometrics, and then they'll give you the actual code that you need to get into there. Okay, to actually get into geometrics and start practicing. Little word to the wise with once everybody has it, we should actually spend a few minutes looking inside it because it's got its own little set of rules and regulations. But if you understand how to apply what we're going to learn, you'll have no problem passing with geometrics. Because as soon as you know geometrics and you are at the 80% point minimum, so you can pass it in the time frame, I think it's 50 minutes, and you hit 80% correct, then that tells you that you are in a good place to start to consider doing the test. Okay. The pass mark is actually 70, depending on which exam it is. The pass mark is actually 70, but you want to be better than that. You don't want to just hit the bare minimum. So if you can hit the 80% with the practice test, then that tells you you're at that time. You're ready to do it. Okay. That's pretty much all we need to know about that. So let's get everybody's going to go there. You're going to sign up, and you are going to oh gosh, it's so warm here. Just give me a sec, guys.
Hi guys. I guess this is the general question for the class.
Yes.
Since this class is being instructed in Excel 2016, but
yes.
I'm going to assume most of us are going to register for the Excel 2019 version of the exam.
Oh,
Are you guys concerned at all about maybe differences in the software, or should we just safely assume that what we learn in this class in the book should apply pretty generally to 2019?
yes and no. There are a lot of differences with the 2019. And 2019 is exactly the same as the 365. And what that means is that I have run Office 365, and so the testing is geared to anybody who's running 365 or the 2019. There are some changes, and also the way that they have designed the new 2019 365 test is also slightly different. I like it. I've already passed the word. I passed it actually about 2 or 3 days after they actually opened it up. But that's a question that we need to find out from. I would imagine it's going to be Marina, because that's a very important concern. So I know that somebody here is running Google Drive, but that'll be, I guess we'll fix that one. Who is running Office 2016? Nobody? Everybody's running 365 or 2019?
No, I am using 2019.
2019.
Me too.
I have 2016. Just let me check it, double check it.
365.
Yeah, 365. That's what I'm running, and the way the testing is set up is that it's geared towards the 365 as well as 2019. I'm just boiling here. So yeah, that's a very good question to have an answer to, because it does impact what we do and how we go about it.
May I ask you the very stupid question? How to check which version of Excel do I have or of Office do I have?
Okay, that's not a stupid question, because I've had to do that myself too. So bear with me 1 second. I'm going to go back to share. Yes.
Mhm.
If you are running Office, actually no, whoever said about close, the safest way is going to go File. And I know that Katerina, I think you are running, or no, somebody else was running Mac too.
Oh, it was Tugba, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I recognize that because I ran into that question this morning. So File Backstage, and for you is just going to be File as just a bunch of stuff. It's not the Backstage like here. And if you go down to Account, which is actually the same, or used to be the same as About Us,
Okay.
it'll tell you what you're running right here.
I'm running 2016.
All right.
Professional Plus, whatever it means.
Ooh, nice. Fancy. Fancy. But yeah, I've got the 365 just because it's easier. Okay. We have got 20 minutes. I don't want to waste 20 minutes of your time. Let's see. Yes,
Can I say something about the geometrics?
please do.
I know you said you have to register under your own name. So I actually tried registering under my own name. I don't have any of the access to the Excel stuff.
No, yeah.
But if you actually ask them for the username and the password and then register using the username and password, you'll have direct access to the Excel test.
Okay.
You actually just email Sophia
Okay.
and ask her for a username and password, and she give me a username and password. So you do that and you download the app onto your laptop. So if you want to, I can screen share and show you what I have.
Oh, yes, please, because it's different from what we've done. So let me stop sharing my screen here for you. Okay, stop. And go for it. Yes, please, that would be fabulous.
Also, I have 2016.
All right, perfect. Okay.
So if you download under your own name, this is what you get. So this is me registered under my own name, right? So when I register under my own name, if I go to dashboard, I don't have anything here, right?
Yes.
This,
Yeah.
If I go to tests, I don't have anything here because I haven't done any tests.
Yes. Yes.
However, if I ask her for the username and password and then download the app onto my laptop, and then of course I'll not be using my name, it'll be under somebody else's name. I guess
Yep.
name,
Yeah.
but then I'll have access to like Excel.
Okay. That works. Yeah. I know that we had different systems for the MOS group. There you go. Yeah. You got the
Sorry.
expert.
Mohammed, so you're saying there's a fully functioning version of Excel in the Gmetrics software?
I haven't opened it yet because I'm not really like I haven't started doing the test or practicing the test yet because I'm still doing SAP and QuickBook and stuff. But I can just open it and see what happens.
Why
right?
not? Yeah. The only problem I can see, or possibly potential problem, is if 3 or 4 people are using Tracy's login information. Then if I go in and Mohammed, you have just finished doing, you've passed the first test, then I'm going to be working on your skill level versus my own skill level. But
So
I don't.
Sophia, so Sophia actually addressed that. So what she said is she's going to like assign a username, and that username is going to be like to 3 or 4 people or
Yes.
something like that.
Mhm.
So there'll be like something like 6 or 7 like dummy usernames or something like that, I guess. So I guess it'll be like 3 people per like whatever, and then we have to coordinate, right?
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, you'll be able to answer this for me, Mohammed. Does it still have 100 users per license? I believe that's correct too.
I don't know.
So it gives you 100 different tries at doing the tests.
Okay. Yeah, like I don't think we'll do like 100 of them, right? Because it's like 3 people per account, right?
Oh, I don't know. I went through. I practiced.
I don't plan on doing them 100 times, but you know, maybe some.
Yeah.
So if you want to, I can like open one, but
Yeah.
you guys,
Okay.
right?
Because let's do the testing. Let's do training mode. Okay. And in the training mode, so give it a start. Yes, please. Then the files that you need for this are going to be there, and then continue. All right.
Excuse me.
Hi,
This is Muhammad Abdurrahman. You can call me Mo.
Mo.
Yeah.
Mo is good.
Okay. So I have a few questions related to the program.
Mm-hmm.
So may I start, or I have to hold on?
Ask away, please do, because I'm not going to start anything new. So this is a really good time for us to hammer out any questions. Go for it.
First of all, I don't have any idea about the Gmetrics.
Okay.
I don't have anything about it. Even I don't know who can support me with the link to download and how to access.
Okay, I can answer that question. The person that you're going to reach out to is Sophia. Do you have her contact information?
I have her email, yes.
Okay, so reach out to Sophia, say that you're interested in that, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Mohammed, do you have your phone there with you? Just take a picture of this. This is pretty much the instructions.
I think it's better to have a file in my email because
that way you can track it. Yeah, for sure.
To track and to.
Okay, I'll forward to you, Mohammed.
Okay, you guys sound like a very tight group. That's excellent. So you notice here we've got the timer started, and so
That's one. What am I doing?
Okay, so let's. Do you have the file open? Oh, you're running into the same problem we did before. Somebody. Oh, okay. Yes, thank you, Alan. Good call. Let me finish my thought because I want to answer that one too. Some of these you find that you have to go file open. So you notice if you go to overview, it tells you what you're going to be doing. But you also notice you're going to have to go to the Gmetrics folder. So it's file open, and it's going to be in your version of documents. There should be a Gmetrics folder there. Okay.
Where is it in documents?
Do you see? So Alan, I'm going to answer your question in a sec. Templates, yes.
Nothing.
And we don't see it. Okay, cancel. Press blank. Create a new Excel book. So just Control N.
New?
New, yeah.
Control N?
N, yeah. Okay, now try doing it. If I'm not mistaken, that's something that we've run into. Okay, then go to the Gmetrics documents. And that's weird because everything you need should be there. And see, you ran into that problem before. Some of them don't quite work. There's some kind of little conflict, and I don't know. I will ask Ansia to today. I'll ask her about this one. I'm also going to try it myself when I get home, when I get finished here. So do me a favor, go to task 1, please. Okay, so we need to find the file. So what we can do is go, I'm just thinking the best way. File, open. And you were able to download the files, Amo?
With the geometrics, like it said, like it was doing the process.
Yeah.
And,
Did it finish?
Yeah, it finished, right? So I'm assuming.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw the folder there. That's weird. That's really weird. Let me answer that one. Let me see if there's anything that I don't know about regarding setting these up, because you should be able to see them. Oh, I like you. You're using the details format. Could it be it went somewhere else? That's the other thought.
Yeah, I tried downloads and documents. Like that's where I like usually download stuff. It's not in downloads.
Yeah, you should see them. The geometrics automatically goes into the documents folder, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Alan, you are absolutely correct. If you are running the online version, the web-based version, there are some limitations to what it is that you can do. I believe that you can take the test, you can do the practice now that things are opening up a little bit more at the center if that's the need be. I'm going to ask Ansia to get back to me regarding those files, because we ran into that problem with the MOS group in the afternoons, the group I was teaching before. Yeah. So sorry, Alan. Yeah, not everything works for us if you have the online version. Things like in next
tomorrow afternoon, right?
So we got a lot of questions to get answered. One of them is how do you find the files for geometrics? Okay. Number 2 is to make sure if you're running online. I know there are some things that you cannot do in the books.
I just want to say that thank you for Monrika. So one of the group already sent me the file for matrix.
Okay.
So the first question is done, finished.
Nice. Okay. I can't argue that one. That's brilliant. You guys are such a tight group. How long have you been working together?
Because we already have a SAP program together.
Yeah. Yep. I'm the new kid on the block here.
Okay. The second question is that the program schedule that I received is only 5 weeks.
I believe that's correct. I'm going to check my schedule.
Thursday, Friday each week.
Yes, that looks about right. So I have the schedule here. Yeah. So there's a lot of work to be done by you guys independently. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So it's 10 weeks of 10 classes together, correct? Yes. So the other thing I can do for you is, because we do have only a limited amount of time together, is get the resources I intend on sharing with you, as well as I can do some my own videos for you if need be. Okay.
That's my third question. That if you please help us with the resources that you have and and the guidelines for the exam, because I have already an exam before for OCP Oracle, but that's a long time ago. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Microsoft certificate.
What I'm doing right now is I'm actually going to the folder where I have everything saved, and I'm going to share that with you rather. Where is it? Share this one.
Deborah, could you please add me to the email list?
I can do that. So just give me 1 second. Copy. And then done. And then. This is going to give you access to my Google Drive. And there's a lot of resources in there, how to pass any test, any Microsoft test. There's resources to something called Mike's Office. He takes you right through the process. And if you're going to be looking at any one of the videos first, well, I'm going to give you a tip, which one I would like you to start off with. Where are you? Mike's Office is. Where's Mike's Office? Oh. Yeah, so I may have to go find Mike's Office for you. You know what? It'll only take me a minute. And whoever said they needed me to add then to my email address, if you could write it down, that would be great. I'm going to give you 2 links here. Okay? This is my go-to best resource ever, is Mike's Office. And what he does, he goes through how he takes tests, and he actually gives you practice exercises to work with, which is fabulous. So he sets the scenario up, so it's almost like you're actually taking the geometrics test or you're taking the MOS test. So, okay, so Bernard, you're not in my list or not? You are in my list.
She's not. She doesn't appear to be on the email list, but she's been in our classes.
Okay. Yes, I didn't get any.
Pinar, she's asking you.
So just okay. So just here. Wait, I've suffered from the way too many things open. Okay, wait now.
Yeah, I wrote my my email address too.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Wow. Okay, so where's your list? So what I'm going to do probably is put it into a. I think the safest thing to do is to get. Do you have my email address? That's probably the best way. Everybody can email me. I'm going to make sure I give you the right.
No, I don't have.
I'm going to give you my. You have the Working Skills Center address. I'm going to give you my Gmail too. If everybody emails me with "Hi, my name is," or like Mohammed likes to be called Mo. That way, I know what he likes to be called. Okie dokie.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So, hi, my name is hi, Bernard. So Bernard, I'm sure just that's how you like it. Then that way it helps me out a lot, and I can compile everybody's email address, make sure everybody's combined into it. We're down to the last 6 minutes. Anything else we need? And I will send it to one person or send it to everybody, and I will most likely put it into my YouTube, my G Drive, and I will send you the link. That way you can get it all times, and you're not wasting your email, your bandwidth. You can download it as you see fit. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you
one
so
more
much.
question. I just want to confirm. Do we have another class tomorrow, same time?
1:30 to 4. 1:30 to 4 o'clock. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. So much. Can we use the same meeting number and everything?
Yes, as far as I know, yes.
Okay.
They've never let me create a meeting, so maybe I get to do it tomorrow. We don't know. So everybody's good?
Yes.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you so much, Deborah.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you for being so good.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye. So much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.